What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet, and I am black up in your face again with some more pro-black commentary. So, there's a very interesting story that I found over the last couple of days, and I've been, kind of following it for maybe about 2 or 3 weeks and just kind of keeping abreast of what's going on with it. But it's a story that comes out of Las Vegas, and it features a mother, Kendra Long, who is being arrested at her home for selling methamphetamines out of the home. And the person who has turned her in is her own son. Her 9-year-old son is the one that turns her in for selling the meth at the house. So it's a very interesting and sad video, really. I'm not going to play the actual video. I might play some of the audio of the news report in this video. But what I wanted to talk about in this story is, there's so much talk on social media of, the black culture is bad, black culture is failing, the black community is failing, and all this other stuff, right? And it's usually black people just kind of regurgitating and repeating this stuff that they've gotten from white bigots over the last couple of years, right? Over the last decade or so. And you never see them do any videos or any commentary where they talk about where white society, the dominant society, is actually crumbling as well. When you have a situation where a 9-year-old boy is turning in his white mother for being a meth dealer, it's very telling about where modern society is. And this is not in the hood, by the way. Like I said, it's in the Las Vegas suburbs. She's living a pretty nice life. If you look at the house, the images of the house, it looks pretty nice, actually, right? So this is not in the hood somewhere. So when you talk about a society crumbling, we have to acknowledge the overarching, encompassing society that these bad black folks live in. Like I said, there's so many people that do so many videos every day. They'll do like 20 videos in the time it takes to record this one video here. There'll be 20 videos of ignorant Negroes talking about how bad other black people are, right? But you'll never see them talk about Miss Kendra Long and her meth dealing out in the suburbs. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the actual news report. And let me say this. This video is actually 2 years old. I think the incident where she got arrested was in 2002. It's come back into the news cycle because they are looking into her again because she her child has moved on and is now living with his father. But, she was put on probation because of this whole incident, and she's broken the probation. She's facing real prison time because she was out there dealing more meth and trying to get more methamphetamines. So she uses and sells it. So let's listen here to this news report and find out why this is so important to understand about the quote unquote dominant society and how their community and their culture is messed up. Let's listen.
A child finds drugs at home and turns them into police. The person taken into custody, his own mother.
Really, it's heartbreaking moments right there that unfolded, all caught on video. 8 News Now investigator Vanessa Murphy has this story you'll only see here.
A child hands a police officer a bag of drugs.
Well, thank you.
So no sooner as the police knock on the door, the little boy opens the door and hands the drugs over to the police. What's interesting is in the video you can see that the little boy has his book bag on and he has his tablet because he locked himself in the bathroom when he found the drugs. He locked himself in the bathroom, found his tablet, and called his father on FaceTime. And he basically got his stuff ready because he knew he was about to get up out of there. And he wanted to get up out of there. He knows how crazy his mother is with these drugs and the weird people that like showing up at the house. Let's listen some more.
So, we were called to come check on your son.
A second police officer tries to comfort him.
What's up, little man? What's going on? Hey, I'm Officer Henson. You scared? What's going on, man?
And the poor little boy is crying at this situation. That's got to be tough for him, having to turn his mom in, but still, being so upset and frustrated with having to deal with this type of nonsense. So he's very upset and he's crying, and the mom is making all types of excuses, making it seem like she doesn't know where those drugs came from. Yeah, right. You knew what they were doing in there, Kendra.
Man, what's going on? Do you want to take a seat on the bench?
He's got my phone in the bathroom for like an hour.
This is the boy's mother, Kendra Long.
I have no idea.
I have no idea what that is.
Well, you just handed it to me.
She has no idea what that is.
I don't know.
So this is your child?
This is my baby. Yes, he's been in the bathroom for an hour.
Okay.
Literally an hour.
The child had FaceTimed his father while locked in the bathroom. The parents are divorced. The dad called police.
He was showing Tony this stuff that he found in the house.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, I don't either.
The other officer then talks to the 9-year-old boy who's in tears.
And what did you find inside the house that made you scared? Okay. Do you know what drugs look like?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
That's a damn shame.
Just take some deep breaths.
He says he found the drugs under his mother's nightstand.
I just saw a couple bags. I was curious. Pull it out, and then I couldn't even knew what it was.
Yeah, from like TV and stuff.
What?
You thought like maybe it was drugs from like TV and stuff.
Yeah.
Officers examined the
These kids are not stupid. These kids know what's going on. These kids know what's going on. When I was young, I knew what drugs were. Okay, so this is not something that kids are completely ignorant of. For you adults out there that do drugs in front of your child knows what you're doing, and they know it's not right. Okay, so for all you fools out there that still do that nonsense, let me see if I can reach you here. Do not do that in front of your child. You're doing a lot of damage to them. All right, you're doing a lot of psychological damage. You're reducing their faith in you. They may still love you, but they don't depend on you after a while. They stop finding you to be reliable. Okay, so you're doing damage to your child when they can see you doing something that's wrong like that. They know drugs are wrong, and they know your behavior after you get high is wrong. And if you folks out here who have had parents who have either been drug addicts or alcoholics, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, and I can commiserate with you because I've had the same issues with my own father being an alcoholic. I know how dangerous that can be and how hurtful that is to see that. Okay, so let's listen some more to this report here and see what this little boy is going through.
the drugs.
Yeah, that's a lot of meth. It's not just like a little baggie, you know. Yeah, it's like one of my top 5, you know, in my 20-year career of meth hauls.
So that's a lot of meth, not just a little bit that he found. They found a lot of meth. That was a big old bag that the child handed to the police officer. That proves that she's not just using it, she's dealing it as well. And it was found in her text messages how she was telling people to come over and get themselves a little bag, or how much do you need? That means she's the supplier or the middle one that gives out the meth in the neighborhood. That's probably how she's able to afford this house, by the way. For all you people that think that white people just have these regular jobs, or white people are so innocent and that's how they're able to afford everything because they work hard, quote unquote. No, a lot of these fools are dealing in the suburbs as well. That's how they're getting paid. Let's listen some more.
I can honestly say after 21 years, this is the first time that the kids walked out with 12 pounds of meth in a baggie and handed it to us.
12
If that
pounds
is meth,
of meth.
then yeah, that's quite a bit of meth. It's not just, you know, recreational or personal use. That's like enough for, you know, a couple hundred people to party on a weekend. However, yeah.
Turns out this was more than 100 grams of meth, according to police.
But you do have the right to remain silent.
Me?
If you give up that,
Yeah, bitch, you. She's talking about when they're reading her rights. She's like, me? Yeah. Who else are they going to arrest? It's your drugs. She keeps trying to play these games like we don't know that you're selling here. Okay? It cracks me up when some of these white folks, they act so surprised when they actually get arrested for something.
Right, you can say anything you say can will be used against you in a court of law. It's in your house. This is your house.
This is not my. I don't even know this was here. I can't even understand or fathom the fact that this is drugs.
You didn't know you had a big old bag of meth under your nightstand? You didn't know you had this big old bag of meth just sitting under your nightstand. I know sometimes when you get tired, you drop stuff by the nightstand, because I have like a few magazines under my nightstand. But I would know if there's a bag of drugs there too. that stuff doesn't just come out of nowhere. It doesn't just show up from the meth fairy. Come on, lady. Who do you think you're playing with? We know the deal. We know what's going on.
In my house.
Long is arrested for drug trafficking and child abuse.
Was Gus feel okay?
This was in July of 2022. Long posted a $25,000 bond that same day, violated a family court order, and
That means she has some drug money on hand to pay for her bail, by the way. For you people, like I said, for you people out there that think white people just have money, or the white people just rich, that's why she had the money, selling drugs in the suburbs.
broke numerous other rules, court records show. Still, she received no hard prison time and was given probation, which prosecutors say she violated. She was also sent to an inpatient drug treatment program. In her criminal case, prosecutors pointed to these text messages showing she clearly was dealing drugs. You want a $100 bag or half? The deal taking place with her son home. So it appears this was all an act.
I mean, to me, it looks probably like methamphetamine.
Of course it was an act. She knows she was dealing out of there. And you see that? See how they said she didn't get a harsh prison sentence? Now, if she was a black woman, they locked her ass up under the prison for that. Or she would have never been able to post bail, right? They'd have made her bail so high that she wouldn't have been able to get out of there, right? So you see how there's different rules for different people. And they make sure that they get their people out of there. But even with all that leniency, her ass still wound up back in prison. Because as soon as she got out, she went to doing the same thing over again. Dealing methamphetamines. You think she didn't have connections? If she's dealing out of that house and she had that much drugs on her that she didn't have the connections? She probably made more connections when she went to prison. That was probably even more of a hookup, right? Because a lot of these criminals, they get together and come up with more schemes to make cream, right? So they get together in there. She probably was dealing in there and started dealing it even more and got more connects when she got out again. So the cycle is just going to continue. Now, I'm happy that the little boy is going to live with his father and his stepmom, and he's away from this crazy woman. But once again, this is going to mess with him for his entire life. And he might even start to blame himself for, even though he was trying to help his mother, if she keeps going down the wrong path or something bad happens to her, he's going to blame himself for that. And that's a shame. He shouldn't blame himself for doing the right thing. He did the right thing, probably one of the only things he could have done as a 9-year-old in that situation. I feel bad for him, okay? But for a lot of you ignorant Negroes who like to keep promoting that nonsense about black culture being bad, you need to understand what type of culture we live under. It doesn't come from nowhere, all right? And when you have situations like this going on in the dominant society, and you think this is the only one, this is newsworthy because the boy turned her in. There's a lot of other people out there dealing methamphetamines. I know just in Tennessee, in my own state, a lot of that happens here, okay? Where they've had to shut down whole neighborhoods because someone had their little meth lab blow up, right? And methamphetamine fiends running around the streets and whatnot. We cleaned up here in my neighborhood, but I'm sure it happens still within the outer area of the county I live in, where you have these methamphetamine fiends and these heroin fiends running around in the morning, right? I told you guys a couple of years ago, if you see in the news that Mad Black popped somebody for trying to break into his car or in his house, don't be surprised, because I'm not letting some dope fiend break in my stuff, all right? So you folks let me know how you feel about this story. and I would love to hear your opinions on this. And if you've heard about it, go ahead and let me know as well, because I'm sure this is starting to get a little bit more traction within the media. Anyway, this is Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on the devil's back.